Hare Krishna. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Shwapadantitam. Vande Aham Sri Guru Sri Utapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Shindu Dina Bhandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Shindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vachalam Panglungam Kayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamahang Vande Shri Gurun Dinotharanam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So welcome to our English Bhakti Sastri. So today we are still in the chapter 11 of the Bhagavad Gita series, purport by Srila Prabhupada, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Just to review shortly what we have discussed in our previous class. So in the previous class, we have discussed how Lord Krishna was being requested by Arjuna to display, to show his Virat Rupa, in order to establish Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not simply by, he kind of self-proclaimed, but it is true that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explaining that if in the future anybody would claim himself to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so he has to be able to show the universal form, otherwise he's simply a bogus. Yeah. And the next part of our discussion was Sanjaya, is actually Sanjaya narrating to Dhritarashtra Maharaj about how Lord Krishna showing his universal form, and Arjuna was witnessing that universal form, and Arjuna could see actually the outcome of the battle, because past, present, and future is being displayed in the Virat Rupa form of the Lord. Yeah. So Arjuna was trembling, and then he was offering prayers. We will see in our today's class. I just share the screen here. Yeah. So these are topics of our discussion today. So from text number 32 to 34, Krishna's instruction to become an instrument. Okay, we will see that Nimitta Matram Bhavasavya Sachin. And then Arjuna again offer his prayers, text number 35 to 46. And then text 47 to 55, only pure devotees can see Krishna's two-armed supreme form. Yeah. So what does it mean when we say here can see Krishna's two-armed form? Because there are so many people those days when Krishna was on the planet, physically on the planet. There are so many people see Krishna, in his two-armed form. But what does it mean when we say see here? See means not only seeing Krishna, but also understanding Krishna Tattva. Yeah. Like Duryodhana, for example, he sees Krishna, but he doesn't know Krishna's real position. All right. Yeah. So text number 32, this is Krishna's instruction to Arjuna, because in the previous sloka, Arjuna was offering prayer, and then he was asking like, who are you and what is your mission here? So who are you, what is your mission? So responding to that, here is Krishna's statement, Kalosmi Ksaya Krit Pravido. Yeah. Krishna says, yeah, the Supreme Personality of God had said, time I am the great destroyer of the world. This is the first thing that Krishna mentioned after being asked by Arjuna, who are you, what is your mission? So Krishna's mission is that to destroy the evil. That's why all these armies, the kings, gathered here at once by Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna wanted to annihilate all these personalities at once in the same place. And I have come here to destroy all people, with the exception of you, the Pandavas. All the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Yeah. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. In reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked even if he did not fight. So because Krishna already planned that all these personalities, including Bhishma, including Drona, would die. So even if, of course, Arjuna said that Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan Shreyo Bhuktum Bhaikshamaphi Holoke, better I go to the forest and live by begging. Yeah, Bhaikshamaphi Holoke, live by begging, but that is not approved by Lord Krishna. Yeah. Because after showing this universal form, so Lord Krishna says, even if you don't fight, they would die anyway. Yeah, Jatasahi Dhruvam Ritir Dhruvam Janmam Ritasis. That is sure for those who have taken the material body. So of course, our understanding of, regarding death is changing of the body. Yeah. So even if Arjuna doesn't fight, somehow or other, they will die. Somehow or other, they will die, because that is Krishna's plan. Yeah, that is Krishna's plan. Sometimes to understand Krishna's plan is not at all easy. So there was one story that one time there was a bird in Jagannath Puri. There was a bird in the front of Jagannath temple. And then at that time, Yamaraj came and just glanced at that small bird, So Garuda, being the leader of all birds, could understand that if Yamaraj glanced upon somebody, that means that person will be taken. So Garuda, being compassion to this small bird, so he thought that he will take away this bird to somewhere else, far away from that temple, in the front of the temple. So Yamaraj was seeing that bird, and then he went inside to take darshan of Lord Jagannath. Yeah. And then meanwhile, Garuda, with the speed of, just few seconds, he took this bird to another part of the world, and then he came back to the Jagannath temple as if nothing happened. And then what happened? In that place, actually, that small bird was bitten by a snake and eaten by that snake. So Yamaraj, he took darshan of Lord Jagannath, and then he was praying out of his confusion. Yamaraj said that this small bird in the front of the temple, actually, it's destined to die somewhere else, not here. So now I'm confused. What's going on here? Is there any mistake of his secretary, Chitragupta? Maybe he does some mistake of the destiny of this bird. This bird's supposed to die somewhere else and bitten by a snake. But in the front of the temple, I saw that bird, and there's no snake around. And then when he came out, and then he saw that that bird is not there anymore. And then he understood that, yes, that bird is exactly on the place where it's supposed to be and eaten by the snake. So having heard that, Garuda, of course, he lamented. So in this way, Yamaraj said to Lord Jagannath that, yes, nobody could understand your plan. Yeah. So Garuda is actually executing Lord Krishna's plan indirectly. Garuda wanted to save that small bird. But when Krishna plans something, when somebody is already destined to die, in particular place, in particular time, nobody can check it. Nobody can check it. So Yamaraj was confused in the beginning when he came out of the temple, and then he knew that the bird is already somewhere else and died, exactly as what was written according to its destiny. So similarly here, when Lord Krishna planned something to kill all these people except the Pandavas, so they would die anyway, even without Arjuna, whether Arjuna fight or he doesn't fight, because that's their destiny. Text number 33, Krishna says, Mitra matram bhavasa vyasachim. This is Krishna's instruction to Arjuna that just be instruments. Therefore, get up, prepare to fight and win glory. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Just be instrument in the fight, because Lord Krishna encouraging Arjuna here to fight, because Lord Krishna loved to glorify his devotees. Lord Krishna loves to glorify his devotees. If we just act as Krishna's instruments, same thing. This is actually applicable in any situation in our life in terms of serving the Lord. Like book distribution, for example. If you just think that, okay, I just do this, I'm just Krishna's instrument. In the preaching also, in general, in Krishna consciousness preaching, just do it as service, and don't really think about the result. Otherwise, we may frustrate it if we don't meet the expectation that we are expecting. So just act as instruments. So the result is up to Krishna, but it doesn't mean that we can be negligent. Of course, we have to put effort, endeavor, and sincerity in our practice, in our effort to please Krishna. But everything is already destined by Krishna. We just executing it. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prithivite jatan agradigram sarvatra prachar hui bimoranam. Lord Chaitanya could easily distribute love of Godhead, but he wants to glorify his devotee, Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada just be instrument. He's an old man, but he just have this mood, he just be instrument. That's it. Success or failure is up to Krishna. My main business is just to become instruments of the Lord. Yeah. So similarly, Lord Krishna asks Arjuna here, just be instruments. So when we become Krishna's instruments, so we are actually karma free. We are not affected by karma. Yeah. One of Arjuna's reason is sinful. Reason not to fight is sinful. But when we act under the direction of the Supreme Authority, Lord Krishna, so there is no question of sinful reaction. Prabhupada said, the whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan, and all manifestations are but accidental formations. Yeah. So everything is Krishna's plan. Yeah, Prabhupada says, not even a grass moves without the sanction of God. Yeah, Maya Dyakshena Prakritis Tuyati Sacharacharam. Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagad Viparivartane. The whole Jagat, the whole world is moving under Krishna's supervision, Krishna's direction. Yeah, Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagad Viparivartate. Text number 34. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, and other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not disturb. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemy in battle. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees. You see, we just talk about this. Prabhupada mentioned here. He wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. So that's it. Our business is just to act as Krishna's instrument. Yeah. Bhava Savyasach, Nimitta Matra. Yeah, Nimitta Matra Bhava. Just be instruments of the Lord. Because Krishna, he loves to give credit to his devotees. Yeah. For example, like when Bhima was killing Jarasandha. Yeah. It's actually simply by Krishna's desire. Krishna can kill this demon easily, but he wanted to give the credit to Bhima. Yeah. And another thing is like Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada was preaching. So actually, as I mentioned earlier, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can inundate the whole world to become devotee, the whole world with pure love of God. But he wants to give the credit to Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. Jadi papi chadi dharma dure desh, jaya mora senapati bhakta jaive tathaya. So there is this prediction. Jaya mora senapati bhakta. One day there will be a great senapati bhakta. Yeah. Great general devotee. General of the whole army of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come and execute the mission. That is none other than Srila Prabhupada. Yeah. So what Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of a spiritual master. So to understand Krishna's plan also, we cannot speculate Krishna's plans. So we need to take guidance from the spiritual master. Yeah, from the spiritual master, because he's the Sakshat Haritve, the direct representative of the Lord. Yeah. So understanding Krishna means following the instruction of the spiritual master, the previous acharya. Yeah, because the spiritual master is like the Karnadara or the captain in a boat. Yeah, captain in a boat. Nrideham Adyam Sulavam Sudulavam Plavam Sukalpam Guru Karnadaram. So Guru is the Karnadara. Guru is like the captain who give direction. So it is very important aspect. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami explained out of the 64 angas of bhakti. Yeah, the first 20 angas considered to be very important. So the first 10 is the pravriti, and then from 11 to 20 is the nivriti. So pravriti means the do's, and nivriti means the don'ts. Yeah, and then from the first 20, the first 20, there are 3 items. The first 3 items considered to be very, very important, and those are Adoguru Ashraya. First, taking shelter of spiritual master. Second is Diksha, being initiated and learn how to execute devotional service. And third is Guru Seva, following the instruction of the spiritual master. Yeah, very important aspect, because we cannot understand Krishna without the mercy of the spiritual master. Yeah, Yasha Deve Parabhaktir Yatha Deve Tata Guru Tashatika Tita Yartha Prakashante Mahatman. So Prakash, Krishna, knowledge about the absolute truth can be revealed to those souls who is taking shelter of both Yasha Devi Parabhakti Yatha Devi Tathagura, both the spiritual master and also the Lord. Having faith to the spiritual master is mentioned first here. Yeah. Because as Srila Prabhupada explained very nicely that we cannot jump directly to Krishna. Prabhupada said this is another nonsense if we try to approach Krishna directly, because nobody could approach Krishna directly. One incident when Lord Krishna with Arjuna went to the Kandavavan, Kandava forest. So being a Kshatriya is allowed to kill wild animals such as lion and tigers in the forest. First reason is that to actually protect the hermitage, the sages who would perform tapasya in the forest from those wild creatures. Second is to train himself, being kshatriya, to train himself in the fighting art. Yeah, so kshatriya would challenge a tiger just with a sword. Yeah, not with a gun, but with a sword, and should fight directly with the tiger. So when they were in the Kandava Van, in the Kandava forest, so on the banks of Jamuna, there was one lady. So she's actually Kalindi, the Jamuna personification, Kalindi Devi. So Lord Krishna understood the desire of Jamuna. And then Lord Krishna asked Arjun to go and approach Jamuna and inquire who is that girl. So Arjuna went there, and then Jamuna said that, oh, I'm Kalindi, and she expressed her desire to marry the Lord, to marry Lord Krishna. So Kalindi did not approach Krishna directly, but Kalindi approached Arjuna. So she was asking Arjuna to talk on behalf of her, expressing her desire that she wanted the Lord to become her husband. So this is the process. Yeah, we approach the devotee in order to get Krishna. Yeah. All right. And text number 35. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. So we have seen how Sanjaya described Arjuna's prayers previously, that Sanjaya being so nervous, Arjuna being so nervous that he would repeat the same things. He would repeat the same words that he already mentioned. So Prabhupada said that's natural when we meet great personality and we feel nervous. So now Arjuna will offer his prayers from the next text. So up to text number 34, that was Lord Krishna's instruction to Arjuna. Yeah, because Arjuna was asking, who are you? What's your mission? So the Lord replied that my mission, I'm time factor. I'm the destroyer of everything. And my mission is that to kill all these personalities. Therefore, you get up and fight and just be my instrument. Anyway, these people will die. Because Arjuna witnessed already that some of them crushed by the gigantic teeth of the Virat Rupa, and some of them stuck in between Lord Krishna's teeth, the Virat Rupa's teeth, and so on. So Arjuna could understand the outcome of the battle. So Lord Krishna says, all these personalities, Bhishma, Drona, Jadratha, Karna, they would be vanquished by his plan. So text 36, Arjuna said, Master of the senses. So here is Arjuna's prayer. O Master of the senses, Rishikesh, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, demons are afraid, and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Prabhupada explained, when Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others, who were demons and atheists, could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheists is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all. 37. O great one, greater even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Why then should they not offer respectful obeisances unto you, O limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe? You are the invincible, You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So Arjuna especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. Yeah, from the Lord's navel. Yeah, from the Garbhodakasai Vishnu. Yeah, from Garbhodakasai Vishnu appeared that lotus flower where Lord Brahma appeared. Text 38. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the material modes, all the limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Yeah. So Krishna knows everything. Yeah, Krishna says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani chabhutani mam tu vedana kasyana. So Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna. Krishna knows the past, present, and future. But mam tu vedana kasyana, Krishna says, but me, no one knows me in truth. Yeah. Mam tu vedana. So no one can understand Krishna in full. But Krishna knows everything, past, present, and future. You are the air, you are the supreme controller, you are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature. And you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Yeah, so Arjuna is offering this prayer, mentioning here, you are Brahma, the first living creature. Yes, so there are two types of creation. One is Sarga and the another one is Visarga. Sarga means the primary creation. Visarga is secondary creation. So Sarga is done by the Lord. Therefore, Lord Krishna is actually the original Brahma. Yeah, this Brahma is not a name, actually, it's just a post. Same like Indra. Indra is not a name, but it's just a post. Indra means king of heaven. Brahma means creator. Yeah. So Krishna is the supreme creator. Text for the obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Text 41, 42. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. This is a very famous verse actually. Saketi matva prasadam yautam. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Saketi. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Mata pravridda visaya pravala. So Arjuna said, Mata pravridda. Out of madness, I'm calling you directly by name. Yeah. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you. O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend. Saketi matva. Saka means friend. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Saketi. Saketi is my friend. Not knowing your griefs. Ajanata mahimanam tavedam. Not knowing your glories. Please forgive me, whatever I may have done in madness. Yeah, mata pravrida. Visaya pravala. But here Arjuna mentioned in madness, or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. So now Arjuna here comes to his senses, his understanding that Krishna is God. Oh my God, all these days, this Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is my friend, and I was being so impolite. So Arjuna is trembling here and genuinely asking for forgiveness. Yeah. Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. See, this is the secret actually. Krishna is known as the Asama Urdhva. No one can be equal or even greater than the Lord. But Krishna is being so merciful that toward pure devotees, okay, we are talking here about pure devotees, toward pure devotees, Krishna can act as, very intimate friend, as a son, as a lover also. 43. You are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. So Krishna is known as the Adi Guru. Yeah, Adi Guru means the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be? How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? Prabhupada explained, he is the spiritual master because he originally gave the Vedic instruction to Brahma, and presently he is also instructing Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Therefore, he is the original spiritual master. And any bona fide spiritual master at the present moment must be a descendant in the line of disciplic succession stemming from Krishna. Without being a representative of Krishna, one cannot become a teacher or spiritual master of transcendental subject matter. So Srila Prabhupada here in this purport actually is glorifying this line of our Sampradaya, Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, because Lord Brahma is directly instructed by the Lord, before the Visarga took place. Tene Brahma Haridaya Adikavaya. So Tene Brahma Haridaya means Lord Krishna directly giving instruction to Lord Brahma, giving this knowledge, transcendental knowledge to Brahma's heart, investing in Brahma's heart this transcendental knowledge. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaya. So from Lord Krishna, so to Brahma, and then Brahma to Narad, Narad to Vyas, Vyas to Shukadev, and it goes down to Srila Prabhupada and our spiritual master. So in that way, actually, we are connected in this disciplic succession, and Srila Prabhupada is, glorifying, because we have this connection with Krishna through the disciplic succession. So without being connected to the disciplic succession, one cannot become spiritual master. Text 44. You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend, the impertinence of a friend, or a husband, the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. I may have done you. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened. But at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. So Srila Prabhupada mentioned earlier in his purport in our previous class that for a devotee, we are not so eager to see this universal form. Because the two-handed form, Shamasundar form, is much more sweeter than this form, because this form is so horrible, and at the same time, of course, it's gorgeous, but at the same time, it's terrifying. So Arjuna here mentioned that please give me your mercy by showing your original form. Come back to your original form. So later, Srila Prabhupada will explain that actually this original form is the topmost form of the Lord. Yeah, that's why I'm Bhagavan. Text 46. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head, and with club, wheel, corns, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. So Arjuna gradually asking the Virat Rupa, yeah, the Lord in the form of Virat Rupa, to show his four-armed form. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada said, but Arjuna know that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, assuming his temporary universal form. He is now asking to see the form of Narayan, his spiritual form. This verse establishes without any doubt the statement of the Srimad Bhagavatam that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other features originated from him. Yeah, iti cham sakla pupsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indra Vyakulam Lokam Vridanati Yuki Yuki. So Krishna is the origin of all forms. Yeah. So including Narayan form, four-handed form, and also this Virat Rupa form. And text 47, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjun, happily have I shown you by my internal potency, the Supreme Universal Form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. Yeah. So this form that Lord Krishna showed to Arjuna is the full Virat Rupa. Okay, to Mother Yasoda, to Duryodhana, Lord Krishna showed some universal form before, but that's not as much detail than this, to Arjuna. No one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna, but because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in other planets in outer space could also see it. See? Only the demigods can see this. Yeah. Therefore, when Arjuna was asking Krishna in the beginning of this chapter that please, if you think that I can see this form, kindly show it. Because with this ordinary material eyes, we cannot see this form. Yeah, because this form is spiritual, beyond this dimension. So Arjuna required the Divya Chakshu. So Lord Krishna would give Divya Chakshu, means divine eyes, the eyes of the Devatas. Yeah, the Divya Chakshu, the eyes of the Devatas, divine eyes. So those demigods on the higher planetary system, they could see this form. This form was shown to Duryodhana also when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer. But at that time, Krishna manifested some of his universal form. You see, only some, not full. But those forms are different from this one shown to Arjuna. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. 48. O best of the Kuru warriors. No one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifice, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. Yeah. The divine vision in this connection should be clearly understood. Who can have divine vision? Divine means godly. Unless one attained the status of divinity as demigod, he cannot have divine vision. And what is a demigod? It is stated in the Vedic scriptures that those who are devotees of Lord Vishnu are demigods. Yeah, Vishnu Bhakta Smrito Daivaha. So now we are thinking, are we demigods? We are devotees of the Lord. Yes, by quality. Yeah, by quality, we can develop the quality like the demigods. Yeah, in fact, it is confirmed by Prahlad Maharaj. Yes, the Bhaktir Bhagavad Kinchana Sarvair gunais tatra samaste sura. So sarvair gunais tatra samaste shuraha. All the good qualities of the demigods immediately, naturally develop in the body of those who engage in Krishna service. Yes, Yasti Bhaktir Bhagavati and Akinchana. Doesn't have any material desire. So Prabhupada explained there are two categories of living entities in general. One is the demigods, one is the demon. One is the Sura and another one is Asura. So it's not simply just about where we're born, from which family we're born, but it's the matter of quality. Yeah, for example, Prahlad Maharaj, he was born in the Asura family, but he's not Asura. He's Sura, he's devotee. Yeah. So it is not that it is not the matter of where we're born, but actually our qualities matter. Yeah. One cannot be divine without being a pure devotee of Krishna. The devotees, however, who are actually in the divine nature and who have divine vision are not very much interested in seeing the universal form of the Lord. Again, here Srila Prabhupada mentioned it. Pure devotee doesn't really eager to see this universal form of Lord. As described in the previous verse, Arjuna desired to see the four-handed form of Lord Krishna as Vishnu, and he was actually afraid of the universal form. Yeah. Text 49, you have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished, my devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. The purpose of the revelation of the universal form was shown. Now Arjuna wanted to see the four-armed form, and Krishna showed him. The devotee is not much interested in the universal form, or it does not enable one to reciprocate loving feelings. Either the devotee wants to offer his respectful, worshipful feelings, or he wants to see the two-handed Krishna form so that he can reciprocate in loving service with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, it is very difficult to reciprocate with the universal form. Yeah, with the universal form. First of all, it's terrifying. It's gigantic. So if we offer something to the universal form, immediately being devoured, and that's not sufficient. Yeah, but in two-handed form, Lord Krishna, it's actually sweet form of the Lord. The sweetest form of the Lord is the Shamsundar form, where Krishna can reciprocate with his devotees very intimately. Yeah, even a pure devotee of Lord Krishna doesn't like to have personal close relationship with the Narayan form because it's too formal, full of awe and reverence. Well, of course, different devotees have different mood in the service, different rasas toward the Lord, but generally devotees of Lord Krishna, they're always eager to see only Shama Sundar form of Lord because it's sweet. You can play with the Lord. Yeah, you can become Krishna's lover, can become Krishna's parents. Yeah, and that's actually very, very intimate. Yeah. So Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-arm form, and at last showed his two-arm form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a four-handed form, but since Arjuna asked to see this four-handed form, Krishna also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his two-handed form. Yeah. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardhan, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature." So now Arjuna is free from fear, because Krishna already assumed his original two-handed form. Yeah, of course, it's a gradual process from the universal form, and then Arjuna requested to show the four-handed form Narayan, and from that Narayan form to Krishna, two arms form. Those who deride Krishna as if he were an ordinary person are shown here to be ignorant of his divine nature. If Krishna is like an ordinary human being, then how is it possible for him to show the universal form and again to show the four-handed Narayan form? Yeah, avajanantimam uda manushim tanumashita. Chapter 9, it is described that fools deride Krishna when Krishna appears. Manushim tanumasrita, when Krishna assuming human form. Although he assumed human form, he's not a human like us. Otherwise, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, how he could show the Virat Rupa if he's ordinary human being. Yeah. A pure devotee is not confused by misguiding commentaries on Bhagavad Gita because he knows what is what. From here till the end of this chapter is very, very important verses. I put up the whole verses here, although these verses not included in your memorization sloka, but it's nice if all of us can memorize this verse. Yeah, it's very beautiful. So text 52, Lord Krishna. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Sudur Darsamidam Rupam Drisavan Asiyan Mama Deva Apyash Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kamshya. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjun, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear. So Nityam Darshana Kamshina. Kamshina means very dear. So that even the true arm form of Lord is very, very dear to the Lord himself. Yeah. Still, beyond that universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him. And we have evidence in Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother, Devaki, all demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna, and they offered nice prayers to the Lord. Although he was not at that time visible to them, they waited to see him. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him, but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-arm form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. So Deva Apyash Rupasha, even the demigods, hardly they can see this form directly, the Shama Sundar form. The transcendental is by continuous Krishna consciousness and by devotional service to Krishna can have his spiritual eyes open and can see Krishna by revelation. Such a revelation is not possible even for the demigods. Therefore, it is difficult even for the demigods to understand Krishna, and the advanced demigods are always in hope of seeing Krishna in his two-handed form. The conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for everyone and for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyam Sundar. So seeing doesn't mean understanding. Okay, please note that Prabhupada explaining here. It is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyama Sundar. Yeah, Queen Kunti prays that, Krishna, you are just like an actor on the stage. You are unknown. You are unknown. Actually, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now you are acting just like my own nephew. Bhismadev Pitamaha in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam also prays to Lord Krishna and actually giving instruction to Yudhishthira Maharaj, where he mentioned, Na hi asya kar hi chit rajan Puman Veda Viditsitam, Yad Vijijasa Yuktam Muhyanti Kavayopi. Even the Kavayo, the most learned personality, can be Muhyanti, can be bewildered by Krishna. Na Hyashya Karhichir Rajan. O Raja, O Yudhishthir Maharaj. Not everybody can understand Krishna Tattva. Even the most learned personality can be bewildered. For example, Brahma. Brahma was bewildered, thinking Krishna to be an ordinary human being. Yeah. Another incident also in the 10th canto, chapter 23, when Krishna sent his friends to the Brahmanas who were performing the sacrifice, performing yajna. So Krishna asked his friend to approach them asking for food, yet they rejected. They are Brahmanas, but they don't know who Krishna is. Yeah, rather their wives, being women, yeah, Striyo Vaishyas Tata Sudras, women considered to be low in the society, belong to the same category as Vaishya and Sudra. Yet they understand Krishna's real position. So when Krishna's friend came back to Krishna with frustration because the Brahmana is rejecting to give them food, so Krishna asked his friends, okay, if the Brahmanas rejected, so go to their wives, because their wives are Krishna's devotees, you see. So even the most learned personalities, sometimes they can be bewildered by Krishna's activities, by Krishna's position. Nahi Ashakari Chitrajan. Not everybody can understand Krishna. Difficult to understand Krishna. Yeah, Sudur Darsam means Sudur Darsam Idam. It's very rare to get the chance to see this Shama Sundar form, seeing and also understanding. Text 53. Naham Vedarina Tapasana Danina Nachajaya Sakya Evam Vido Drastum Drishtavan Asi Mam Yatha. So here Krishna is explaining, not by studying of the Vedas, not by tapasya, not by charity, not by worship, Krishna can be understood. Yeah? The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not this means. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. Yeah, for scholars who have simply studied Vedic literature by way of grammatical knowledge or mere academic qualification, Krishna is not possible to understand, nor is he to be understood by persons who officially go to the temple to offer worship. Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, interestingly, officially go to the temple. So the next verse, after this, mentioning that Bhaktya to Ananya Sakya Aham Evam Vidorjuna Yatum Drastum Chatatvena Pravistum Cha Parantapa. My dear Arjun, only by undivided devotional service. Ananyaya, Bhaktya to Ananyaya. Ananyaya means undivided, Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. only in this way you can enter into the mysteries of my understanding. So Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided. So we'll see that the verse Saguna Samati Jaitan Brahma Bhuyaya Mam Chayo Vya Vicharena Avya Vicharena, same like Ananya, yeah, pure devotional service. So to understand Krishna, there's only way is only by pure devotional service. Prabhupada says, Krishna can be understood only by the process of undivided devotional service. Yeah, he explicitly explains this in a verse, in this verse, so that unauthorized commentators who try to understand Bhagavad Gita by the speculative process will know that they are simply wasting their time. Yeah. And the last verse, text 55, Mad karma krin mad paramo mad bhakta sangha varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhutesu yasamam eti pandava. Okay, got back my internet. Yeah. Yeah. My dear Arjun, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities, mat karma krin, mat paramo, and mental speculation. He who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life. Yeah. Mat paramo means we think we make Krishna to be the topmost param, topmost goal. Mad karma can act for Krishna. Mad bhakta sanghavarjitaha. Mad bhakta means become Krishna's devotee. And sanghavarjita means and who is friendly to every living being. Yeah. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu, nirvaira sarva bhuteshu, all living beings. He certainly comes to me. Yasamam eti pandava. Yasamam eti means he will come to me. So through devotional service, if we engage everything in Krishna's service, especially our activities, and make Krishna is the goal of our activities, then certainly, yasamam eti pandava, we will come to Krishna. Anyone who wants to approach the supreme of all personalities of Godhead, interestingly, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, the supreme of all the personalities of Godhead. Yeah, not just the supreme personality of Godhead, but is the supreme of all personalities of Godhead. Because there are many personalities of Godhead, all the incarnations such as Matsya, Nrsimha, Vamana, these are all personalities of Godhead. Mahavishnu, Kshirodakasaya Vishnu, Karanodakasaya Vishnu, they are all personalities of Godhead. But the Swayam Bhagavan Krishna is the supreme of all personalities of Godhead. Yeah, interesting statement if we analyze this. On the Krishna planet, on the Krishna Loka planet in the spiritual sky, and be intimately connected with the Supreme Personality Krishna must take this formula as stated by the Supreme Himself. Therefore, this verse is considered to be the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You see, Prabhupada mentioned here, this is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. But what about the Chatusloki Gita in the previous chapter, chapter 10 from text 8 to 11? That's considered to be the essence of Gita. So this is also the essence of Gita, and 15.15 also the essence of Gita, and Sarvadharman Parityaja in the chapter 18 also the essence of the Gita. So we can conclude actually, devotional service is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, because Mat Karma Krin, acting for Krishna is devotional service. Mat Paramo, making Krishna to be topmost goal in our life, that is devotional service. Mad Bhakta Sanghavarjita. Yeah. Mad Bhakta Sanghavarjita. Sanghavarjita means free from contamination of productive activities and mental speculation. Therefore, Rupa Goswami explained pure devotional service means Anyabilashitasunam Jnana Karma Adhyana Vritam, free from karma kanda and also mental speculation. Yeah, Gyan. The Bhagavad Gita is meant to show how one can understand his spiritual existence and his eternal relationship with the Supreme Spiritual Personality, and to teach one how to go back home, back to God. Okay. So, in the purport, this is still text number 55. Yeah, Srila Prabhupada's purport. In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is temporary manifestation, and the form of time which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Vishwarup or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. And there are hundreds and thousands of Vishnus, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important but the original form, two-handed Shama Sundar. In Brahma Samhita, in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shama Sundar form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochani. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme. So that was Srila Prabhupada's conclusion. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada's concluding word, that the purport of this 11th chapter is so elaborate about Vishwarupa, yeah, the universal form of the Lord. And finally, what we have to learn, Krishna, the form of Krishna, two-handed form Krishna, Shama Sundar, is the topmost, the supreme form of the Lord. Okay. So just to conclude on this chapter, chapter 11, that Arjuna asked Lord Krishna to show the universal form because he wants to prove Krishna's word in the 10th chapter when he says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava, everything comes from Krishna, from me. So Krishna wants to show the whole world that Krishna is not simply talking and self-proclaimed. Of course, in the 10th chapter itself is clear when Arjuna mentioned that Ahustvam Risaya Sarve Devarsi Naradas Tatra Asito Devalo Vyasa Swayam Eva Bravishimi. So not only Arjuna accepting Krishna to be the Param Brahma, Supreme Personality of Godhead, but all great sages like Devarsi Narad, Asita, Devala, yeah, they have the same conclusion that Krishna is the Supreme Person. Even if still people do not believe that statement of Arjuna, great authority and great sages such as Narad Muni, Devala, Asita. So Arjuna just asked Lord Krishna to show the universal form, to prove himself to be God. Yeah. So that was first reason why Arjuna want to see this universal form. Of course, as Srila Prabhupada explained, that Arjuna doesn't really eager to see this universal form because it's terrifying. We seen the proof that Arjuna was trembling. He was afraid. Yeah, because it's so horrible. Horror. Therefore, Arjuna requested Lord Krishna to show his four-handed form and gradually to his original form. So what we learn, this universal form, the four-handed form, also emanates from Krishna, because Krishna is the Swayam Bhagavan, and all other incarnation is the Swaangsa. Swaangsa means the partial incarnation of the Lord. And of course, this Virat Rupa is not the eternal form of the Lord. It is material, it is temporary form of the Lord. It is exhibited only for the purpose of creation of the material world. So this form is not available in the spiritual world. Therefore, this form is temporary. Okay. All right. I stop here. Whether any question or comment from all the devotees present. If there's no comment or question, I take your permission to leave. Thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.